Welcome to the Geeks, and Joysticks podcast YouTube channel. This is a show called What You Doing, where we talk about what we watch and play during the week. I'm your host, Edward Perez. By myself this week, but don't worry, I watched enough stuff for the both of us. You feels me? I got timestamps on the bottom, so it's kind of like a cheat code. You already know what we're talked about in the bottom, and I don't know what I'm going to say. But y'all, if you want something I talk about you don't like, you could just skip a rule. You feel me? This first one isn't really like, I'm not going to go all hard and deep. You feel me? Giggity. It's more of like a quick recommendation, maybe. You know, LGBT month is here, Pride month is here. You feel me? It's called Halston. Came out on Netflix. You might have seen it right there. It's about the rise and fall of the famous designer Halston. There's just I never really been prior to this. I've never really heard of it. You know, you think of designers, Calvin Klein, Balenciaga, all this other stuff, Christian Dior, or whatever. As you can tell, I'm super fashionable myself. You know, you feel me? Shout outs to Ross, Target. Marshalls. Tianguis. And so it just a little. It's his life in the late 60s and how fashion shows used to be very depressing. That's my big takeaway from the show. It was just like in some room and they would like, no music, no nothing. Everybody be like, oh, snap. It's very gay, so I watched it with Bubbles, Liza Minnelli in there. The actress who played her was probably my MVP. I liked her a lot. But Ewan McGregor plays Halston. He did a fantastic job. Bubbles said that it wasn't as cool as he thought it was. I thought it was fine, entertaining. There's like drugs involved and, you know. Obi-Wan Kenobi be butt fucking in the first 15 minutes. So if y'all into that, go check that out. I know you guys aren't, but I have to shout that out because I watched it. But let's get into the full-blown reviews. As you can tell by my shirt, and you can tell by my nipple. You know, you can see my nipple. Shout out to Jennifer Aniston. The Friends reunion on HBO Max released this past week. I guess that's like my personality. I'm not really a freak about or passionate. Well, maybe I am. I don't know. I'm not, like, every time there's like a demonstration of appreciation from fans towards something, the passion that just burns in their soul for that one thing, I don't have that for anything. And I feel kind of, I don't know, I need therapy. But I did feel emotions. I did feel chills for this reunion. Of course, it's like a myth, you know, it was like a legend that, oh, this will never happen. And then thanks to HBO Max and them paying them like $4 million a piece per cast member, they all came together. The whole thing is around an hour and 40 minutes. I appreciate Friends for what it is, as like, it's cemented its legacy and it's an historic show. At one point, James Corden, who's kind of like the host, not really. There's different segments throughout the whole reunion, but James Corden at one point says that it has over, I think it was like 800 billion views, or it's been watched that many times, which is it's crazy. It's insane. But I did get chills throughout most of the part, like them seeing the set. They have them walk on the set again, and then them having some reads, and then giving some juicy gossip of certain things. So as I would say, not fake fan, but like a chill fan, you know. I've seen most of the episodes by now. I enjoyed it. It was very, very good. I liked it. There was a few takeaways. Everybody looks old as fuck, probably except Jennifer Aniston. She looks exactly the same. Shout outs to Matt LeBlanc. He's in the chubby gang. Was good. He all thick and shit. It's fun. But there were some tidbits like, I don't know if you guys ever saw Mad About You, but Lisa Kudrow plays like a wacky waitress named Ursula, who turns out later to be, they make her Phoebe's twin. So I found that to be, I thought it was the other way around somehow. But no, she was already a waitress in Mad About You. And the producers were Mad About You. She was like, I got your Phoebe right here. So they go through the whole casting process of each one. How Jen Aniston and Matthew Perry were already on different shows. Cool stuff like that. But they go from sitting on the couch in front of the fountain with James Corden to them on set reminiscing about stuff, to they would cut to like special people, special guests or celebrities saying how much Friends means to them, and then cutting to fans from different countries around the world doing the same, and then special appearances. And then they were doing the quiz game. If you're a fan of the show, you probably know what I'm talking about, which was the boys versus the girls, who knows more about each other, with Ross hosting it or doing it, and they were playing that legitimately. So that was cool, and they brought out a couple of people. That was cool. It's just the whole show is just funny nostalgia, you know, even though it's not really it is kind of nostalgic for me, but I've said it before in the pod, I go to sleep to the damn show. It's probably on right now. It's on all the time. But I don't know if this is a spoiler alert, because I didn't really expect it, but at one point, spoiler alert in case you give a shit, Lady Gaga comes out with Lisa Kudrow, aka Phoebe, to sing Smelly Cat, and that I thought was pretty cool. I was like, oh shit, and she's all cosplaying as Phoebe and shit. So if you're like a okay, moderate, whatever, medium fan to the show and you give a shit, I kind of gave a shit a little bit, you know. So that's why the only reason I watched it. You feel me? It's good. It's all right. So I'm kind of glad I'm by myself on this on this review, because my other two co-hosts couldn't give a fuck about Friends. Felix a little bit. I know Bubbles he hates it. He hates this and he hates Seinfeld, which made me think, I don't know if Michael Richards just fucked up that reunion for life, you know. They did have like a small little shout out reunion in Curb Your Enthusiasm, and there was like a little table read, but I would like something like this where they break stuff down and they talk to each other, and there's a whole, you know, a whole special, a little under 2 hours dedicating themselves to appreciation of the show. Hopefully Michael Richards didn't fuck that up. Is that Kramer's name? Michael Richards? I don't know. It's a good watch. You all should check it out if you can. Something else that I found to be very interesting, and I wanted a little bit more, but it was kind of lackluster, was the recently talked about by Felix and I, Borat's American Lockdown, Debunking Borat. This show is a little wild. So if y'all haven't seen Borat's subsequent movie film, which is the second Borat, there's a part where that movie is about him trying to find his daughter because she runs away or whatever, right? So there's this one part in the movie where he gets stuck with these two, I don't know if redneck is derogatory, these white guys, these two country white guys, right? And in the film, it's probably about like 10-15 minutes of it. What this show is, it's that whole part a little bit more extended. So I don't know if these two guys, I think it was like Tom and Randy or some shit like that, Jerry and something. Borat calls them Tom and Jerry at one time, so that was funny. They kind of, I don't know if they already knew each other prior, but they had a set up, or the way they got these two guys to like go stay with Borat in a damn cabin was they had like a reality show kind of. That's how they tricked them into filming it, right? So this show is more of that, plus because what they got out of that whole part of the movie is so crazy what these two guys believe or what they were saying. They're conspiracy theorists. They debunked what they were saying on the movie. So what this show is a live, live the real life drama of Sacha Baron Cohen as Borat, where he spends 5 days at the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic with two conspiracy theorists, then in Debunking Borat. So it's like 6 episodes of Debunking Borat, but before that is Borat's American Lockdown. It's a little confusing. See, the two conspiracy theorists have their theories debunked by some of the world's leading experts. So they would have these two guys on Zoom call with the leading experts of whatever they were talking about. So they were talking about crazy shit like the big one was Hillary Clinton drinking blood of babies and of young children, and satanic rituals, and that COVID was made in the lab by China, which I kind of buy. And then they were like, there's no evidence. I'm like, that's their big word. So I was kind of like, it's a whole mess. But But I just stood there watching it, wanting more. The very first episode, which is Borat's American Lockdown, which is part of the movie, he also dressed up as American Steve, I think it was, and this was in the movie. And he's singing to the crowd of Trumpers, I guess, because they were all, these two guys helped write a song about locking up Obama and just crazy shit. And he's singing it up there. But the crazy part, which is kind of a spoiler alert if you guys are going to watch it, the word starts to go around that it's actually Sacha Baron Cohen who's singing. So these fools at the rally literally chase him out, and there was like an ambulance that was the cruise as an escape ride or whatever, and you can see him. He's like, "All right, thank you very much," and he turns around and he bolts it, and you can see the rally people run across the stage chasing his ass, almost like pitchforks and shit, like he was beating the beast or some shit. And the scary part of the footage is they're inside the ambulance, and he's just sitting there, right? And he's like, we got it. We think we got it. And someone opens the fucking door. You see the door open. It goes, poof, and he's like, oh shit. And Sasha is holding on to the door, and they're trying to open the door. He's like, go, go, go. It was crazy. That was the craziest part. That was the very first episode. That one's around 30 minutes. The other 6 part, each of them is like 12 minutes. I didn't like that, because you would spend 3 minutes on the credits and then the intro for the next episode. So I wish they just consolidated that into one 30-minute episode, whatever it was. But it's kind of crazy to watch their reactions to them debunking what they were saying, because they really believe it in their heart, in their soul. You know, it was kind of crazy. So it was a good watch. I liked it, and it's quick, even though the intros and the outros are low-key annoying. What was it? Debunking Borat. That was a good one. Also watched Wrath of Man. This is a Guy Ritchie film where the plot follows H, aka Jason Statham. Old man will fuck your girl. Mr. Fuck your girl. Jason Statham follows H as a cold and mysterious character working at a cash truck company responsible for moving hundreds of millions of dollars around Los Angeles each week. I remember also reading in the synopsis when this trailer dropped that he's seeking revenge for his son. I feel like they switched this out now for that synopsis. You know, I don't know why. I guess I know why, because I knew that going in that he was doing something for his son. But the son thing isn't revealed until like really late in the movie, kind of almost halfway through. So Jason Statham is finding out. This is what I remember reading on the pod. Jason Statham is finding who killed his son. So when he's working for this cash truck company for a long time in the movie, and I'm like, okay, you don't know shit about him. You don't know shit about H. He's like really mysterious. He's being Jason Statham, right? And then all these other people's like picking on him for being the new guy, and then calling him a pussy and all this other stuff, and then he whoops ass. And then the movie's kind of slow, honestly. Shout outs to Posty Malone, who likes to be getting killed in movies, and shout outs to him. It's pretty cool. There's also very kind of mediocre acting, kind of extra acting, not by Jason Statham, because Jason Statham is him, or any other like legit cast. There were some people I didn't recognize, like just driving trucks and talking really extra, kind of like, I don't know, I didn't like it. But yeah, it takes a while to get going, and then once it gets going, it repeats itself, the same scene from 3 different points of view, which is kind of cool. But since we already know what happens, I wish there was a way for them to speed it up a little bit. But it's just kind of slow. So it's a mystery as to who he is, what he's doing, who's he chasing, because you don't know shit. But he's chasing Clint Eastwood's son. Este vato, ¿cómo se llama este güey? I know his last name is Clint Eastwood. Eastwood. Scott Eastwood. And he had like a very cheesy scar in his face. I didn't think he needed it. They kind of did it to like make him more menacing. I didn't like that. He didn't need the scar on his face, you know. Está guapo el vato. He's cute. Just let him be like a menacing bad guy without a scar. He didn't need a scar. It's under an hour and 40 minutes, I think. It's not that long. But the movie just felt longer because it took a while to get going. Yeah, it's just under 2 hours. But it just felt way longer than that. The pew-pews are cool. It's nothing outstanding, nothing that like stuck into my mind except like just Jason Statham being a badass. It's a really, really okay watch. But it's the least British Guy Ritchie movie, you know? Because it takes place in Morocco, in LA. Even though there's still fucking British fucks running around and speaking the way they speak and doing what they do, it kind of missed the mark a little bit for me. Like, if you really want to watch it. If you had no idea about it, forget about it. And if you're even thinking about it and, you know, your balls start to sag and you're like, I don't want to, then don't fucking do it. Because it's really not. It's whatever. It's really, really whatever. I not to be a cunt, but I really forgot that I watched it. It's very meh. It is very meh. It's not Jason Statham's fault. I feel like it was the script or the story. It just took a while to get going. So it's okay, but I'll pass. Something else that took a while to get going, but I'm glad I kind of finally finished it, was Marvel's M.O.D.O.K. This one's on Hulu. So this one centers around an egomaniacal, I said that on the fucking pod as well. Egomaniacal supervillain. El pinche M.O.D.O.K, el cabezón, güey, with a really big head and a really little body, who struggles to maintain control of his evil organization and his demanding family. Stars Patton Oswalt, Amy Garcia, Ben Schwartz, la otra lady from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where's she at? What's her name? Melissa Fumero. She was cool. And cool. John Hamm as well. Beck Bennett. Okay, let me get off the fucking cast. I always do this. Visually, it's stop motion and it looks great. It's like super mega HD detailed stop motion, so I love that. I think it's a Stupid Monkey production. Seth Green is an executive producer on it. So this all sounds great, right? But it just it takes a while as well to get going. I watched 2 episodes of Bubbles and he tapped out. I guess we were I don't know what he was expecting, but I ended up finishing it because I was into it after like the third or fourth episode. It just takes a little bit to get going, but they take M.O.D.O.K, who is I had it in my head. What was it again? Mechanism only designed something killing, right? I just thought I said it in my head before I started rolling and then I forgot. Anyway, so you take this character who's a very crazy character, and I was excited when this was revealed because we haven't had a whole lot of him in any other facet than the comics and maybe like old Spider-Man shows. So I was like, hell yeah, M.O.D.O.K, I want to see more. But they kind of changed what I thought what the character was and humanized him way more. They give him a family, so he's going through real life shit. He's going through a divorce. His kids are like, they don't want to spend time with the dad, which is him, and he's at a crappy ass apartment. So they humanize him a lot while he's still working for AIM, and AIM gets bought out by a Google company. So they humanize it a lot. We do get other superheroes like I think. They go to Asgard at one point. Iron Man is like his super mega nemesis and they fight all the time. But the thing that the MVP of the whole show is other than Patton Oswalt, which he was great, is the visuals, because it looks great. It looks really, really good. It looks fun. It's just that, I don't know, again, the writing, it just takes a little bit to get going. I would say it's very similar to Robot Chicken as well. The humor is very peculiar. It's not for everybody. And I was really on the fence about it the whole time, you know. I didn't. There was a couple. There was chuckles. There was chuckles throughout, and then there would be one big fight. I don't know. It just feels like the writing is missing something, and I can't pinpoint it. But I just couldn't take my eyes off of it though, because it looks really, really cool. At one point, these two characters are fighting, and there's like a little Rick and Morty to it too, because he's got all these like portal guns and ray guns or whatever. And at one point, there's a 2D gun, and they shoot each other, and they're fighting in 2D, but the models and the graphics are like Marvel vs. Capcom looking, and it looked really, really cool. Stuff that Robot Chicken would do frequently. So it's very much that kind of crowd. So if I was like a long time Robot Chicken fan and a Marvel fan, this would be perfect. But I'm more of a Friends fan than a Robot Chicken fan. I don't know. They just eluded me. It's very, 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 very weird. If there would be a second season, which they set it up, would I watched it? Yeah, probably. I would. It's good. If I had to rate it, it's like a 7. It's good though. The visuals, again, I can't stop raving about the visuals because it look good. And then M.O.D.O.K himself, he just looks freaky too. He's got like a pig nose, and then he's a gigantic fucking head. He just looks weird. It's good. Marvel's M.O.D.O.K. It's okay. I can't recommend it for everybody. It's just a weird one. 10 episodes or less than 30 minutes. It's all right. It's all right. Yo, I'm like, it's all right on almost everything, huh? Yeah. Nothing was wow. Not even the last one. So from one Disney Marvel villain, I was going to use Halston as my segue and be like, from one cunty designer to another. Get to the point, puto. Cruella way. I fucking watched Cruella way. Released on Disney Plus this last week. Stars Emma Stone, Emma Thompson, Joel Fry, a few other people. And this is a live action prequel feature film following a young Cruella de Vil. Oh boy, this movie. So they focus very much on the fact that Cruella was an outsider, a rebel, an outcast, all that. I'm gonna try not to spoil anything. Yeah, they go hard on the fact that she was like looked like, I don't know, because the baby was born with her hair, like the TikTok emo girl, e-girl, with her hair split down the middle, white on one side, black on the other, and they were treating her as if she had fucking horns on her head. That part was weird to me. It was really weird to me. Like they were like, like even when she was like a child, And the setting is 1960s London. I think it's 60s or 60s London. Yeah. So that part was like, like holy shit, like it was weird. But I love me London. So the whole vibe at London, I love it. It's very fashion centric. So I would say it's kind of, it's a lot of things. It's weird. It's like a heist movie with Devil Wears Prada. I thought there was going to be Joker in there, and everybody thought it was going to be Joker in there. There isn't. With like a coming of age story, but she's still a villain. So it's weird because you're rooting for her the whole movie. And at the end you're like, oh, that's right, she's a villain. But not really, but yeah. So Disney set themselves for this weird situation. It's over 2 hours. So I wasn't expecting it to be over 2 hours. It felt over 2 hours. It's like 2 hours and 16 minutes. It's a little long. It is a little long. As you can tell, I'm very fashionable. So I was like, okay, the dresses are cool, I guess. They're flashy, like they stand out. But I don't know. It's weird. It's a B rating, so it feels a little rougher for children. Again, I always think about who is this for. I guess for us. Because there's the theme on the movie is like there's arson, there's like attempted murder, there is murder, there's attempted murder, there's split personality disorders. It's a little weird heist movie with stealing money, and like it's very not kitty. It is kind of punky. It's a little punky, not punk rock, but it's punky, as I thought it was going to be. But the story is basically, it's a Disney movie. So spoiler alert. I'm gonna go into spoilers just so I can speak freely. You ready? Spoiler alert. All right, spoilers. Ready? The story is that because it's a Disney movie, so there has to be a murder about somebody. There has to be a death. So Estella's, aka Cruella's mama died, and then she's left alone. She's being chased, and then she meets these two kids who take into her, and then they're like homeless kids, right? Until they grow up, until they're like around 17, 16, 18. They're teenagers. They're adults, and those two guys are like her lackeys in the OG movie. As well, she also meets Anita Darling, aka the mama of the mama of the 101 Dalmatians. Not that it matters, not that I care, but it's a note. She black, so good. That's cool. I was like, okay, that one felt a little forced. And then the other one of the daddy of Pongo. I can't remember Pongo, the name Pongo, but I don't remember the name of the female dog. He's Indian. And that one flew over my head. I didn't realize it was him until towards the end, right? But anyway, but she wants to be a fashion designer, and she's fashion, and she has a vision for fashion. And then you have the Countess. No, is that what they're called? The Countess? The Baroness, played by Emma Thompson. And in this movie, she's basically playing Cruella, which is weird. She is the Meryl Streep in Devil Wears Prada. She is the bad guy. She's being a cunt to everybody. And what's the deal with designers being cunts? I don't get that. Well, you have to be a cunt in Halston. Halston was being a big fat cunt to everybody. And then Emma Thompson is the biggest cunt of them all. And then Emma Stone, like I said, there's a split personality disorder going on. So she is Estella, and then she's starting to become Cruella because she starts to find things. There's just a lot going on in the movie. And then Cruella's a big fat cunt. I don't know. Am I a big fat cunt? I don't know. Remove the cunt. I don't know. It was just a lot of cuntiness I saw for one day with Bubbles. The one thing that did took me out of the whole movie, though, and it's, I don't know, it was just me, maybe. If you guys saw this movie, tell me if you guys felt the same. Bubbles didn't. The soundtrack. And I never really pay much attention to the soundtrack in movies because it's like, okay, oh yeah, cool. But then I don't walk out the movie or finish the movie going, wow, that, well, I did for Black Panther. But it's never a focal point for me. This one annoyed me. It's just annoyed me. It really did. Because the way they use the music, every 20 minutes, it feels like you're watching a trailer. So create a trailer in your mind, right? Let's say it's a pew pew or a heist movie. What music have they been using now, right? It's usually some altered version of a late 60s, 70s, maybe 80s, or a very popular song, right? Okay. Have you ever liked any songs from the 60s? You probably have. Have you ever liked any songs of the 70s? You probably have. If you make a list of those movies, the music that you like from those two eras, I bet you they're all in this movie. They're Beatles, Rolling Stones, anything from the 60s and anything that you can think of, it's in this movie. And it comes on every 20 minutes. Bubbles didn't give a shit. It took me out of it because I was paying more attention to the music because it's dope music. These boots I made for, I don't know, like pendejo watching, but it takes me out of the movie completely, Or Painted, or what is that one song? The Painted Black. I think that's the Stones or whoever does that one. That's a good song. Fucking Beatles. I'm jamming out to the Beatles. It's just every dope song from the 60s and 70s that you ever heard in your life is being played in this movie. Any of them. Any song. And it just distracted me. And I'm just being a mamon. But yeah. There's a lot of CGI dogs in it as well, but it's not terrible. It's not. That was a little distracting just because of my brain. I'm just trying to figure out when it is a dog and when it's CGI. That's how good it is. Sometimes I was like, okay, is the dog actually looking at her, or are they doing like a doggy deep fake just to make it look like she's looking at her? But overall, the visuals for that is good. It's very fashion. It's also heisty. It's a very weird movie. Again, I don't know who it's for, but like I said, I'm a spoil. They set up something, you know. At the end of the credits, you have Anita Darling opening up a present that is her puppy, her female puppy, and then you have the other guy. I forgot his name, Stewart or John something, John Smith. I don't know. Pongo's dad opening up a box with Dan Pongo in it, and those gifts are from Cruella, because at the end of the movie she becomes Cruella. But she's not like a bitch Cruella. Like it's Cruella minus the cuntiness. So it's weird. But at the end of the movie, it's like they're setting up the live action 101 Dalmatians. So in this movie, you're rooting for Cruella, and in the sequel of it, which is not really a sequel, which is going to be 101 Dalmatians in live action if they decide to do it, Cruella's going to be the bad guy. It's just emotionally, I don't know where to. It's weird because I'm like, oh, okay. And a lot has to do with Emma Stone. She does a good Cruella. She did a good job. I remember when she first got cast, we were like, okay, we could see that. Okay, but she can toe the line between cunt. I'm saying cunt a lot. You can toe the line between mega hyper bitch and like sweet, nice girl next door very nicely. And she does this in this movie very seamlessly. Very good. But I think my MVP has to be Emma Thompson for playing the Cuntosaurus Rex that she is in this movie. She does a very good job as well. It's an okay movie because it's not necessarily a remake. It's a prequel. So I like that aspect of it. There isn't nothing that it's going up against to judge it side by side with. And I like that. You know, like these other remakes have not living up to the hype of the original movie because the original movie means so much to everybody. 101 Dalmatians is kind of on the spectrum, like not on the spectrum, but it's kind of, I don't know too many people who that's their favorite Disney movie. And it's one of the oldest. That's from the 60s, I believe. Would make sense because whatever. There is that live action one. So if they decide to make a live action remake of the Glenn Close one, maybe will be compared. But because they started off with this one, it kind of feels like they start off with a better foot, you know, with a good foot, you know, kind of separating itself with this movie. It's okay. It's good. If it's on your watch list, watch it. If you're thinking about it, watch it. If you don't give a shit about Cruella, you can 100% skip it. But thoughts that did came up to my head were obviously just the way my brain works. I have to compare it. Is this better than Maleficent? I thought so. Bubbles didn't. Bubble thought there was more to chew on Maleficent. But I think I like Cruella better. We don't want a second one. It doesn't need a second one. Like I said, the second one could be technically 101 Dalmatians. Because Cruella doesn't really have her own movie until now. Maleficent is good. But this would be, if I'm not mistaken, this is the second villain origin movie, solo movie, you know, from the Disney world. So I was thinking, what other villain is worthy of its origin story? Ursula would be dope. And those Bubbles would cream his pants for that. But not if it's Melissa McCarthy. He probably won't watch. But a dope ass Ursula origin movie, that'd be cool. Scar doesn't really make sense. The other one that kind of fits the bill would be Jafar. That'd be kind of cool. But not this new Jafar. He kind of whack. Another Jafar. Somebody else. There probably won't be another villain movie now that I think about it. No, because who else is a actual living person who's a villain? I can't think of anybody. Gaston, you can't have you can't have an origin story del pinche Gaston. No. God damn it! I always have these questions, and then never know what to say. Oh, you can have a Frodo maybe origin story. Frodo will be dope. Or no, Hades would be dope. Captain Hook would be dope. We already have Hook though. Fuck. The Queen. ¿Cómo se llama esta hoe? The Queen from fucking Snow White. What's her name? Is her name just a Wicked Witch? No, the Queen? Puta? What's her fucking name? The Red Queen. I mean, we already had that enough. You could call it the fairest of them all and have it be the lady from Snow White. Yzma? No, not Yzma. I don't know. This probably will be it. Even though I would love a Hades movie, that'd be cool. Captain Hook, but we already have that. Evil Queen, I guess the lady from Snow White is just called Evil Queen. Anyway, so yeah, those were my thoughts on these movies this past week. If you guys like these solo ones or you don't, please leave a comment down below. Yeah, tell me what you thought about the Friends reunion. Bam, 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 bam. Are you guys gonna watch Borat Lockdown? Wrath of Man. If you haven't seen it, y'all skip it and then thank me later. Marvel's M.O.D.O.K. Interested in that at all? And did you watch Cruella? Did you fork over the $30 for Disney Plus, or you just finna wait a few more weeks until it's free on the Disney Plus? Reminds me, I own Bubbles. Bubbles $15. Almost said anything you want to say to the beautiful people. Me, yeah. Please like, comment, and subscribe on this channel. Share it to your friends, and if you hate people and you hate the show, share it to your enemies as well. You can follow me personally at Edward Prizes, Paurazas. You can follow Bubbles at Alex_Mac211. You can follow my ghostly friend at Jafel91. We also have a Facebook page at Geeks, and Joysticks. Go over there and join the conversation. Sneak peek as to what the hell we're finna be talking about during the week. There's a podcast also on this channel. If you guys didn't know, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the like, all that good stuff. You know, come and join the family. We're chilling. I love y'all. Always and forever. You do you. Fuck, outros by myself is weird. So weird.